Alright. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this this hand. Anything which is like got a couple of these is pretty good. Yeah.
So, sounds juicy. One good question to ask is when you're playing in a Thoughtseize format is what happens if my hand gets Thoughtseized and what happens if it gets Thoughtseized twice? And I think in this instance we're going to be fine. So I'm cool. I'm going to keep.
All right, cool. I'm actually going to lead off with this here because there's nothing I really care about him doing. And the longer I leave these, the more information I get. So, need what? So,
Dust Bolt. Alright. This land. Go.
that's an interesting draw. I think. It's possibly worth it. Well, I can't, yeah, do that next turn anyway, so I don't think I gain anything by playing this here. So we're just gonna do this.
Place on. Bashing.
That's your two.
Take 2.
Your turn.
Go.
Okay. Alright, so this gives us a couple of choices. We're not actually going to fire this off yet because whilst it's mana efficient, there's really no need to. There's nothing we're really getting out of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look, see what's going on in Pay's hand. So what's this?
So, dissolve, verdict, revelation, revelation. Planes.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I said we were not particularly vulnerable to Thoughtseize, it got even less vulnerable. A lot of redundancy here.
Interestingly enough, he can't cast his Dissolve yet.
Yes.
And the Verdict also he can't cast, but is actually closer. Any land will cast a Verdict. The Sphinx's Revelations is something I can't really afford to worry about when he's got 3. He can either start going off with them or he can't. If he had some divinations, I would rip them here to stop him getting to the land drops he needs for those Revelations to become good. I'm not sure whether that's a really good hand or not. It's a hand with a lot of good cards.
I think it has a specific weakness.
Yeah, and it's like if he misses land, he just loses. But I mean, that's Magic. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take the Supreme Verdict,
Yeah.
the only unique effect in his hand, and we're going to go to 18 for the Thoughtseize.
So this is really leaving me open to getting punished for not drawing land. Yeah, that's what Sam's really doing.
Yeah, basically. And it's basically the only advantage I can take there, I think.
Everything else is, you're going to leave me with 1 dissolve, 1 center.
I'm going to play this Mutavault.
Alright,
Activate my Mutavault.
Take 2.
Put him to 16.
Sweet. Okay. My turn?
Yeah.
I'll take 2.
So he goes to 14.
Yeah. Setting myself up at the beginning.
The reason I played this out is because in the case he does draw a blue land, this is a terrible play, and I want to be able to punish him. I want to be able to push damage in. So I'm going to draw the card.
Yep. Take 4. Go to 10.
Your turn.
Good.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we don't want him to use this mana that effectively. There is a possibility that playing this would be okay, but I think he's just going to fire off these dissolves on anything he can at this point. So what we're going to do is not allow him to scry and not cast any spells.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to activate my Mutavault
Okay.
and swing it.
Take 4.
Goes to 6.
Yep.
Your turn.
Time's getting precious, so I'm going to fire off one of these revelations for 1.
Cycles the Sphinx's Revelation, goes to 7.
Yep. Alright, it's your turn.
Alright, it's starting to stabilize here. Which is fair enough, I've only really attacked him with lands. But yeah. So I've got an interesting choice here. If I run any number of these out, then it's like I'm forcing him to use his mana to counter instead of being able to Revelation for 2. Although I'm not actually sure that's something I don't want him to do anyway. If he's Revelationing for 2 and he's blowing a Sphinx's Revelation that early, I'm not sure that I actually mind. Yeah. So maybe in turn, if he land drops again, I'll force him to counter something. but until then, I think I'm just going to go with the game plan which has been working so far. Obviously, we might get Azura's Charm, but that's just as a clear trade, and we get the Mutavault back anyway. So I'm going to attack with these two.
I'm going to take 4.
Okay, Paddy goes to 3.
Yeah.
Plus 2.
An interesting decision here. For those of you who don't know, this is what the contents of my hand are. Downside to firing off Revelation 2 here is if you just follow that with Thoughtseize, that I don't have any kind of massive value Revelation coming at the end of the game. I've literally got 1 left in my deck, and it's a bit of a nightmare. What I'm wondering, though, is if this is actually something to bank on. If I can just play this, have him answer it, and then I get to cast one of my Revelations for at least 3, and if not greater at that point in time. What it does cause a massive issue for, though, is... Well, there's actually no reason this is going to be bad. I think I'm just going to leave it here and see what goes on. The only downside is if he plays a massive threat here and I have to deal with it. But I think that's a risk I'm willing to take. So I'm not going to Revelation. I'm going to play Elspeth.
Yep.
And tick it up.
Tick it up, make some soldiers.
Yeah. So to defend myself, I force him to answer Elspeth here, which is really like a nice situation to be in, I think, given the contents of our hand. This is the other card I have here.
Alright.
It's not an easy decision to make, I don't think.
That's exactly the card we wanted to draw this turn.
The main deck Shrivel.
The main deck Shrivel, no. No Golgari Charm for me. Okay, so I'm going to play land.
Land.
Land. That old...
Well drawn, sir.
Yeah. So... What we'd like to do here is we would like to remove the Elspeth.
Yes.
And we're going to do that.
Alright, it gets down forward.
It's down forward.
That's fine. That's okay with me. That's okay. Would you like to send me a bolt?
I don't think we will. What we are going to do, though,
Is Devour Flesh me?
is we are going to rip the Sphinx's Rev.
Excuse me? Alright. You want to change Revelation?
And still want the Sphinx's Rev. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what the other card could be.
No worries.
So we go to 16.
Yep.
And we pass
So
it.
I'm on 3 life?
You're on 3? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Just for the record. Yeah. I'm going to pass 10 back.
Okay. So it's got 1 Sphinx's Rev left. It can be for 3. I'm actually pretty comfortable with that. Obviously, it's always going to be a good thing.
It's not an ideal spot for me.
Yeah.
Just defended it valiantly. Soldiers are valiantly defending my life total. Oppressive Mutavaults.
So I think here is a really good time to run these cards out. The Mutavaults aren't going to do that well right now, so we need another threat, something that's actually going to threaten the end of the game in just, pretty much straight away. And I feel like this fits the bill really well. So we're going to run a pack right up.
So I'm going to either dissolve this. I'd very much like to dissolve this, but at the same time, if you just lead up with a Thoughtseize or whatnot, then it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. That said, I think I'm just gonna push out. I'm just gonna sink back to 5.
Okay, he gets to do that. I really don't care.
Yeah. I think if he has a Thoughtseize, I'm really in a lot of trouble anyway. I'm not gonna win this game because he's got a stack hand of threats that he's been slow rolling or like whittling our life total away with Mutavault. I'm willing to let him kind of have his.
So what that allows us to do as well allows us to run this out. We've still got this in the bank, which is great because it's a low amount of threat, and we get to just play Desecration Demon and pass to you.
Okay. Well, we can stop Desecration Demon for a couple of turns here. That was an okay draw, I think. Yeah. I think I'm gonna Divination.
Sure.
It's okay. Grinding us a little bit further ahead. We have no counter spells up this turn, but that's okay. That's okay. I can deal with that. It's your turn.
Yeah, that might have been a mistake last turn not dissipating, but we'll draw.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons, but I didn't think it was going to get very effective to syncopate. Yeah, Sam was saying I could spam both my blue mana last turn to dissolve as opposed to syncopate, but it's
and you also missed the scry. I think it's important for you now, but yeah, it's close.
It's very.
Okay, so we're going to declare attackers.
It's fine. Attack me.
So this triggers.
Go for it.
Oh, so we're going to use the Azura's Charm this turn. fairly obviously, but we're just going to play into that.
Yeah. So I'll show back the video.
That's not so much of an issue. Effectively, that's back down into my hand. I want the mana up to be able to do this or to do this. So we're going to play another pack rat.
Big rats, yeah, nice. Okay. So, yes, it's not looking ideal here. We'll pass turn.
Okay, end of his turn.
Yeah.
We're going to
Make a rat.
ditch this last breath to make a rat.
Sure.
Obviously, he has to block both of these because I can activate 2 Mutavaults. So these are effectively 4/4s, and I can make another one to make them 5/5s. So what we're going to do is we are going to. Okay, so he has to block both of these. That means I get to get through with 1 Mutavault, which I'd like to do. You know, I'd like to take him to barely anything. Although that does stop us making a rat this turn. I feel like there are enough cards committed to the board as there is. So.
I'm in Verdict mode, trust me.
Actually, no. I think I may have actually missed that almost. What we're going to do is we're going to Devour Flesh him before combat.
Well, I'm obliged to counter this.
Yeah. So we make him spend a Dissipate.
Actually, am I obliged to counter this? No, I'm not obliged to counter this. I'm going to sacrifice it. I get a life.
Yeah, you got a 4.
I'm not obliged at all. Yes, it's
Okay.
That's fine. Yep.
Activate 2 Mutavaults.
Yep.
And attack attack.
Alright. Revelation.
Yep.
A 4.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Go to 8. Block. Go back to 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll start. Pack rat's all about not overcommitting to the board and having a couple of Mutavaults on the table to make them much bigger than they should be makes a big difference.
DC guys?
Yeah, because this just happens
Yeah.
a whole bunch of time.
Good.
Again, he's on no counters, interestingly enough. Look, he's possibly just dead to Mutavaults here, depending on what's in his hand. This is risky to try and hit a land drop. How many cards do you have in hand? 6 in total? Yeah.
2 dissolves.
2 dissolves, 6 cards in hand.
7 cards in total.
7 cards in total. This is bad if he's got Syncopate. This is what we do if he doesn't have an Azura's Charm or a Last Breath. We know that he doesn't have any Last Breaths in his main deck, but it's a choice that some people make. And you've spent only 1 Azura's Charm this game?
Yes, only 1.
Yeah. Basically, part of the strength of that blue-white deck is that you really can't ever tell what's in its hand because it draws so many play cards.
He knows I have these.
But, you know, I'm still 4 cards down.
Yeah.
Look, we're just going to make him deal with them. I'm going to activate these Mutavaults.
Dead.
Yeah, cool. All the way with Mutavault.
Yeah, that's right. So the 4 spells again. Interestingly enough, if I have Azura's Charm there, I think I'm probably just going to win the game. Or not really win the game, but I put way behind.
Yeah. I mean,
assuming I have some other action, which I don't. I just realized.
Yeah.
So we've done 2 games now. Should we do 3 sideboard games? And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about what you're sideboarding.
Yeah. All right. So